So I'm going to do a really professional intro this time. It's going to sound really good. Are you ready?
No, I don't want that either.
No, it's going to be really good.
Is it going to be in German?
No. Oh. God, that would have been so smart. Wait, can we do that? Can I look it up really quick? No. It's too late. It's too late. There's no time. Okay, but I can say my name. I can say my name like I'm German.
Ready?
My Name ist Katz.
Wow.
No, I said Katz, but like really, I don't know why I said that because that's just what like my... I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. I would have never known. I wouldn't have been but cat.
My actual name is German, Katya. But like I worked at a Korean restaurant and my boss, Mr. Koo, thought my name was Katz, like with a Z.
Oh, cute.
So he would like,
Cats.
he always called me Katz and like typed my name in like every time he'd like text me like Katz.
Oh, that's so cute.
And, so I don't know why I just said my name was Katz. But like I feel like German has a lot of Z's in it. So I think I just like went with it. But anyway, my Name is Kat.
My Name is Hayes.
And this is, I wish I could say night classy in German. This is Night Classy. It is a podcast where two teachers, Lehren is German for teachers, and you say it like with an EN if you're a woman, and a Leher, that's a man. Teacher. I can't speak German. I took like 1 year of it in high school. Okay. Two teachers unwind, sip wine, and we discuss the topics we wish we could teach at school. And I feel like we should start saying we teach each other things we wish we could teach at school, because we do more than discuss, girl. Like we plan freaking lessons and research.
Yes, we delve into it.
Like I feel like discuss just really doesn't give us enough credit.
Yeah, I feel like I work 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah, we literally
one
do.
One of them I get paid for.
Yeah, like this shit is a lot of work, especially now that we have real work.
I know, we were like living life in quarantine. Like we still have to do stuff for school, but it's different now.
In quarantine, like I felt like this was my job, and it was really fun to pretend that this was my job.
Yeah, it was a good way to cast our vision and like imagine what it felt like.
What it will hopefully be someday if like a miracle happens.
It won't be hard work.
Hard work will pay off. Okay. Anyway, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Oktoberfest by Wiseacre, and I don't actually know how to pronounce this word, and you all know I can't really speak at all really that well.
It's gemütlich. Wait. Oh, gemütlich means delicious, but it says Gemütlichkeit. Gemütlichkeit? I don't know what that means.
Is that how you say beer? Kite?
No.
Oh,
beer is beer.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
Good to know. What does Marzen mean?
Marzen.
Marzipan
is like an almond paste. Maybe like almond? I don't know. I'm pretending I speak German. I really don't, you guys.
Either way, it's Oktoberfest by Wiseacre, which is a local brewery from here in Memphis, Tennessee. They're very good beers, and we have our steins full.
Yes.
Or they started that way.
And like, maybe we should explain why we're drinking Oktoberfest beer out of steins.
Right, and why we're randomly speaking in German.
Yeah, I was going to be like, you guys really buried the lead here.
We just like it, okay?
Gotta make them work for it.
We really admire German culture.
First time listeners are like, oh, it's German.
Yeah. We pretend we speak German and drink German beer. No, it's October 1st when this episode comes out. And something we bought last year as an impulse were slutty dirndls.
$50 dirndls.
Yeah, $50 dirndls. They should, oh my God, they were so expensive, and they probably cost 2 cents to make.
Yeah,
they're
probably
terrible. Like I had to cut mine today because the arms were so tight. I was worried I'd lose circulation.
I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe I just don't feel that the arms are so tight because they're so tight that I can't feel them. But they feel fine on mine. But yeah, we bought these totally just for fun last year and just
like
being
Spirit
like,
Halloween.
Yeah, Spirit Halloween. Like, oh my God, let's do it. And we knew we were going to a beer fest later that day, and we wore them. And then they're like, oh, you get 10 or maybe it was 20. Either way, we got a percentage off our beers. So we're like, we knew this was, we knew this was all planned.
We weren't just trying to get attention by wearing slutty costumes to Memphis Oktoberfest.
We're not extra.
No.
We're just participants in a sale.
And a sale. And and they match.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah, we really drank in the attention that day. And then we wore these to the soccer game afterward, which was not Oktoberfest.
The whole night, post-COVID or pre-COVID. Jesus, pre-COVID.
Wouldn't that be nice, post-COVID?
Yeah, I rolled down a grass hill that night
and kicked a baby.
No, he was a small child and I did not kick him. My foot grazed his face lightly.
I'm telling everyone you kicked a baby.
Not on purpose, though. He was in my way. And how are you supposed to tell when you're rolling down a hill?
Through children. There's like this grassy area at the soccer stadium where like all the kids sit. And Hayley just goes, wouldn't it be fun if I barreled down this hill sideways? And just flailed around until I kicked a kid.
And you know what? It was fun. So I was right.
It was fun. It's a fun story. Well, anyway, happy Oktoberfest, or as the locals call it, let me look at my notes real quick. Weissen.
Also, what's kind of funny is that Oktoberfest isn't really even in October. It's in September.
I know.
Oh,
that's a fun fact. It's not like I don't have a whole list of them.
Are we going to get to that?
We're going to get to that, dude. Shut up. Don't take away my, what do you call it?
Your thunder?
My light.
Your light? Don't take away my lesson. She's stealing my lesson.
I just cry and leave. Yeah. We always joke about like, what if the three of us had the most toxic relationship and then put on this happy face for the show?
Yeah.
It's true.
It is.
It's reality.
You're exposing us right now.
Yeah. I feel like our relationship is toxic because while you got a nice beer stein that I wiped out, I got your dusty, crusty beer stein and it has a garden of extra dust. Yes.
When? Because I got both of those from the top of the cupboard.
Oh, well, I grabbed a third one and wiped it out.
Yeah.
And then that one didn't make it in the bag.
The third one is not.
But I still feel like that one's definitely not as dusty as this one because I'm like, I run my finger inside even though it like got rinsed out with beer and it's still crusty.
You know what I think is interesting? Is that you only wiped out one beer stein for yourself.
No. Alec was locating the beer steins and he put one on the counter and I wiped it.
After Hayley had already gotten them.
After Hayley had already gotten one. We didn't realize, and then we realized she got them. And then we rushed out the door because we're always running late.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we left here at like 6 o'clock and now it's 7:45 and we're starting.
I think
recording.
It was later than 6 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Hashtag adaptability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're here for Oktoberfest. That is the lesson, and also Dusty Steins. I'm sorry.
Stein.
That is a legit Stein, though.
Dusty Stein is a good, a good drag name. Dusty Stein.
That is the one that you have, though, is authentic. It's from Munich, the Hofbrauhaus. I did not purchase it.
You stole it?
Don't arrest me. No.
Did you know that? Wait, let me find this in my notes.
Save it for the lessons, y'all.
No, wait. This is a good time. There are 130,000 steins stolen each year. Fun fact. And you were one of them.
I was one of them. I walked out of the place. I had it under we were there in March of 2018 and I walked out with it under my coat like I was pregnant walking out of the Hofbrauhaus in Munich. And it was fine. Yeah, everything was fine. And so I smuggled it.
Yeah. They really they overcharge, so you gotta take what you can.
Right. I spent more than enough on beer. I can take the Stein.
My Stein.
I do not endorse stealing.
Mine Stein. Speaking of Meinstein, what rhymes with Meinstein? Einstein.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
He worked at Oktoberfest.
Really?
Another
in
fun
Munich?
fact. I don't know about him. I think so.
Oh, cool.
When he was young, he set up tents.
Are we getting into your lesson right now?
Are we starting?
Is that what's happening?
No, these are just false starts. I'm scratching. Okay.
Oh, you're like making me. It's like I feel like I'm edging right now.
Yeah, I was like, you're breaking structure.
I mean, it's impossible not to. Okay.
It's irresistible.
My forbidden fruit. Okay. What a week.
I have a funny story. I got a flu shot today in Walgreens. Yeah, I was picking up some makeup and I got a flu shot because they had like a clinic set up and I was like, I need to do that.
That's a good idea.
So I was sitting there getting my flu shot, and this civilian walks up and he's like, y'all doing like flu shots here? And they're like, yeah, we're doing flu shots here. And he's like, I should probably get a flu shot with like, COVID and everything going on. They're like, yeah, you probably should. And I look up, and this man, after talking about all the dangers of COVID-19 and how he needs to get a flu shot, is not wearing a mask.
Well, if he has his flu shot, he already has the government
right, the chip is already in him. Yeah. So moral of not the moral. Long story short, I'm a fucking snowflake and got a flu shot today, and now my arm hurts.
That's a good idea. I'm also a snowflake and also need to get my flu shot. So thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, cheers to science.
This is really just a PSA for science and flu shots and voting.
Yes.
You should vote.
Please.
Now is the time. Actually, when this episode comes out, I don't know. Can you still register?
I'm not sure when it cuts off.
Yeah, I think it's cutting off soon. So
if you haven't yet, when this episode comes out, you really need to. There are a lot of things that are, wrong, but voting is one good way to make sure that your voice is heard. And even though you may feel like it doesn't really matter, it truly does matter.
I really thought you were going to say there are a lot of things that are wrong, but voting is right.
I'm not going to get into it. Voting actually is right, though. You should vote if you have the power to and capability and live in a country where you can vote.
Yeah. Please, 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 please.
You guys mentioned science. Do you want to mention the shirts?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Yeah. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about them yet.
We haven't. So back on episode 19, I looked it up.
Nice.
Wow. Good work.
Thank you. I don't actually know what the topic is, so I don't know if it's good work, but I know in episode 19, we were talking about something.
It was aliens and Britney Spears.
Oh, and something about science, because one of us said...
I think we were ranting about COVID and going to have to go back to school.
Okay, yeah, and we were talking about like how much we really like valid and well-researched data that comes from real scientists.
Yeah.
And we're like, we are hoes for science. And it's stuck. And I think it's a really fun descriptor for how we feel about science. I realize that some people are like, it might be like hoes for science. But if you're a hoe for science.
If you're a host for science, yeah. We have t-shirts that say that on them, and they're really, really cute. They're so soft and stretchy, and like they're just really good.
Yeah, it has a cute retro font. And fun fact, Alec actually made a true ethanol, which is the alcohol molecule, and put it on the shirt. It is so fun. It's accurate and descriptive.
Yeah, Alec designed them and like bought a special font. Like they're top tier. They're very good. So you can go on to...
you can go through the link tree.
The link tree on Instagram. But if you don't have an Instagram, it's going to be in the show notes. If you want a shirt, click the link in the show notes. Or the link is also on all our social media. So buy a shirt. They're great. They're cute. They're soft.
And we can match.
Yes, we can match.
And they're pink.
They're pink.
That's true.
Yes, we like pink. Okay.
What'd you blow?
Oh, no. I have one more thing I want to talk about.
Oh, so you do have things to talk about.
I have one thing to talk about. So nothing.
Say it already.
Nothing happened this week. Like literally nothing except for one thing, which is our cats.
Oh my God. Yeah. How could I forget? Our cats have been showing up in weird places.
Yeah, and like our house is haunted. That's an indisputable fact. I don't care what anybody Tommy says. But we have 3 cats, and they keep finding their ways into the walls and into the closets and the attic, and we don't really know. We kind of know, but we're not sure how they're getting
I think
there.
There's one way that they could be doing it. So if we stop the one way, which is through the bathroom closet, if that's how they're doing it, like it's an old house, so it's hard to tell what connects to what behind the scenes,
There is like a weird trap door in Hayley's upstairs bathroom closet that seems to just go straight into the wall. And in my closet's like a big walk-in our bedroom, and on the side there's like a cabinet that you open, and in the cabinet is nothing but like you can't use the cabinet. Like it's insulation and then an old staircase that's no longer a staircase.
It's
like
so fucking creepy.
It's so creepy.
And it's stairs that go into a ceiling. So they don't work.
The stairs, there's no way to go up the stairs. It's just like you open this weird cabinet and there's like a staircase that leads to nowhere. And my cat Ghost keeps like, we'll wake up in the middle of the night and he's in our closet screaming and the cabinet's open. So he comes in to our closet through the cabinet and we think he's getting in through that trap door upstairs, crawling through the walls and then getting into the cabinet in the closet. And we don't know what's happening, but he keeps happening.
They love getting in there. Safety, we woke up the other morning and he was in the attic. Like at 5 a.m. he was crying and it was like, oh my God, he's in the walls. Like we could hear him. Thank God he was just in the closet. But very weird stuff. So I think it must be going in through the bathroom closet, but we'll just have to lock it off and see.
Definitely that. But then like if you remember back to our very first episode, I talked about how Ghost teleported from upstairs to downstairs. Like he literally did. So maybe cats, I feel like cats, a lot of people say cats are like familiars. Like they're like a link between like the spirit world and our world. And I think that's true.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're made of dust and air. And
also
they can just
something
do that.
weird. I went into the attic today. Did you smell anything
when
you were up there? I
Um,
smelled something very bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I just ran in, grabbed my dirndl, and
I just ran in and grabbed my boots.
I don't remember smelling anything. You smell like what kind of bad?
Like
Demon?
not like poop, but like just bad. And I was like,
Ugh.
I don't have time for this.
Did it smell like a dead thing, like a rat or something died up there?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I really didn't linger on it because I was like, I need to get ready and I need to just go. But I was like, I should go look and like make sure Safety didn't poop or something up there when he's in the attic.
That might have been it. Like maybe one of them peed up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's a demon. Okay.
Don't demons smell like sulfur.
Yeah. Smell like sulfur. Maybe.
I don't know what sulfur smells like, but
it's funny
smells
because
like eggs.
Every time the house is mentioned on this podcast, it's always like cat litter this, sewage that. It smells like shit up there. I'm like, people must think we just live in absolute
dump.
squalor.
No, we live in like the most beautiful house in the world, but it is really old and has a lot of
like
issues.
that.
Yeah. We live in a really cool fucking house. It's like it was built in like 1915, and it's a badass house, but it does have issues. Anyway, I have one thing before we talk about the breathalyzer. So we had a new patron this week. And so shout out to my daddy and my stepmom, Heather Barnhart.
You need to qualify that.
No, it's my actual dad.
I'm having flashbacks to 2 episodes ago where you also referred to
last episode.
Okay.
The same joke was made last episode.
Well, my dad texted me. He's like, because he listens and he's like, oh, like LOL, like loved the episode, even the weird like daddy comment about me.
Oh my God.
And so I just felt like I had to do that one more time.
Now you have to continue it.
Now it's a thing now. And I'm so sorry.
And that levels up just the regular daddy comment.
I know. It's really bad. But my father and my stepmom, Heather Barnhart, they became Patreon donors and they went in on a tier that they can choose an episode topic. So I'm interested to see what the choice is going to be.
Me too.
I'm a little nervous.
I'm excited.
It'll be good.
Your dad's a cool guy.
Yeah. He is. I just have no idea what he's going to pick. And so I bet he'll probably let like one of my step siblings pick it. For him, is my guess. But I told him, I'm like, okay, like pick an episode topic, and he's like, only one? That's a $4,800 20-year investment. I'm like, oh my god,
oh my gosh, this is our podcast.
Yeah, in case you didn't know. But anyway, that's all I have. That's
okay. Great.
This has been a weird, long
I know.
intro.
We've been like all over the place.
I feel like we have weird energy today. But anyway, I breathalyzed and blew a .12.
And I was right behind her with a .11 5.
Ooh,
so you
wow,
go.
you're really close.
I know.
Fancy.
We're like trying to keep up with each other.
I know.
These steins. It's so hard to lift them. They're so heavy.
I know. They're so hard to lift and they're so clunky. I'm definitely not going to be able to drink while I tell my lesson. So
yeah, we're going to
I'm
take
just
a 30-second break to bring it up to our lips, drink and put it down.
It's a long journey from the table to my lips. The theme today, obviously, is Oktoberfest.
Yes,
as
ma'am.
I'm sure. Woo, as I'm sure you've gleaned. And Alec wouldn't let me do any of the stories I wanted to do because according to him, not every day in October is Halloween, which I disagree with. Yeah. I disagree hard. But
I feel like I should defend myself, but I'm not.
For some reason, when you say hard like that, it makes me want to like make my mouth the same shape that you have to make it to say the like hard. I don't know what's so appealing about making my mouth that shape, but I'm like here for it. Hard.
It looks like you're like
it's like you're just raising air up through your lungs into the roof of your mouth.
Yes, that's how it's done. But so I had to start my research last weekend because I had such a busy week this week. I was like, okay, I got to knock it out. So, and I was telling Alec the things I wanted to do and he wouldn't let me do any of them because he said, we're not doing scary stories every episode this month. And I got upset. So I said, fine, I'm just going to do a list of things about Oktoberfest. And that's what I did. But
I feel like that's a true Hayley-esque type lesson.
I was like, this is a Hayley lesson. I shouldn't have to do this, but I am.
Can I defend myself real quick?
No.
God damn it.
So my sources.
We'll get to it.
My sources are Wikipedia, Tandem.net, the Indie 100, Thrillist.com, edreams.com, Novanight.com, Germanculture.com, BavarianSpecialty.com, Oktoberfest.de, and NPR.org.
See, when you're a list bitch, you have a ton of sources because you pick and choose.
That's true. I figured that out this week.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, you just got to cherry pick the interesting shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's a quote from Wikipedia. So the Oktoberfest is the world's largest Volksfest, which is a beer festival and traveling fun fair. It is held annually in Munich, which is a city in Bavaria, which is a place in Germany. And it is a 16 to 18 day folk fest running from mid or late September to the first Sunday in October. And it has more than 6 million people from all around the world attending every year.
That's a ton of people. 6 million?
It's a shit ton of people. But
drinking beers.
But fun fact, I didn't put this in my notes. I think only like 18% of them are from outside of Germany. So it's mostly a local affair, according to a bunch of websites.
And that's her source. A bunch of websites.
I just listed a bunch of websites. It's from one of them.
Yeah, pick and choose wherever you want to go.
So Oktoberfest, or Weissen, as it's known by the locals, it was named after the field in which it was originally held in, can be traced back to October 12th, 1810, when Kronprinz Ludwig married Princess Theresa of Saxe-Hildburghausen.
Wow. Wait, so the field had a name?
The field was named like Theresa Weissen.
Wow. That's a fancy field.
It is a fancy field. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was just like a field.
Also, this is not fair. You took a year of German and you know how to pronounce things.
Oh, yeah.
I need to do a story.
I'm an expert.
A lesson with Spanish stuff.
That would definitely give you the advantage because... even though, whatever, we're not going to get into it. So the citizens of Munich were invited to celebrate the wedding in the fields outside of the city gates. So it was like a real Frozen situation.
Ooh.
And this was celebrated with a horse race. And originally there was no focus on beer. It was actually a dry celebration.
Oh, that sounds like the worst. Is that even a celebration?
I know.
Honestly.
I literally have in my notes, imagine planning a wedding and telling your family there's no alcohol, but there will be a horse race.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No
thanks.
Anyway, back to my very important story. Each year, new activities were added to the horse race, like tree climbing, bowling alleys, and agricultural displays, and swings.
Swings.
So it's really fun.
Wow. Swinging drunkenly does not sound like a good idea. As well, also, rolling down hills.
also bad idea.
Proven not a good idea. You kick babies.
No. You kick babies. By 1818, carnival booths appeared, and the main prizes were silver, porcelain, and jewelry. The date of Oktoberfest was actually pushed back earlier. So like you said, it's in September and not October because weather is warmer in late September. So they're like, let's just punch this back a little bit.
I personally would rather drink beer when it's a bit cooler. Put on a nice little sweater.
But you got to wear your slutty dirndl.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I see.
It's an important part of the festivities.
Right.
As we know, because we're wearing them.
Yes. We know all about this.
So horse racing ended in 1960, but the agricultural show still exists today, but it happens only every 4 years. And also today, Oktoberfest looks a little bit different than it used to. It's mostly like a carnival type atmosphere. Did you go to the actual Oktoberfest in Munich?
No,
like during October?
We were there in March.
Gotcha. Still, like they have, I was in Munich and Bavaria too, and there's Volksfest like all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
They're just always ready to party.
Yeah, they are. It's the best place in the world. But it's mostly a carnival type atmosphere. There are like big rides. There are also like a bunch of large beer tents, and there are orchestras in the beer tents, and they're only allowed to play like quiet traditional music until 6 p.m. And this is meant to preserve the traditional feel of Oktoberfest and also accommodate children and the elderly and cut down on crime and like this crazy party atmosphere that it had for a little bit.
That's so nice and thoughtful.
Yeah, it's like more of a family event now. And there's more of an emphasis now on like the rides and the traditional parade. But after 6 p.m., beer tents are allowed to play pop music and they turn up the volume and have DJs. And there's plenty of getting drunk still. I mean, what are you going to do?
The last day we were in Munich, the last night we went to a beer hall. There were 300 people there, all from the company that I worked for. And it was amazing. And the band pulled me and my friend Maria, shout out Maria if you're listening, up on stage to like dance with them.
Yes, because there's a lot of beer.
Yeah, there's a ton of barrels and barrels of beer.
Barrels and barrels of beer, and let's talk about it. So in 2013, 6.4 million people attended Oktoberfest, and they were served 6.7 million liters of beer.
Whoa.
And so if you think about like how many of those people are children or sober, people were drinking many liters of beer.
At least a liter per person.
Yeah.
Evenly distributed.
Definitely. And in 2018, they drank even more. They drank 7.5 million liters. And this is enough to fill more than 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if that was how you had to drink beer. It was like, if you want beer, just suck it right up out of the pool.
Out of the pool. I mean, I feel like that'd be about as sanitary as what I'm drinking beer out of right now. So I wouldn't be too mad.
Shut up. That is authentic German
dust.
Okay.
So since 1950, every Oktoberfest begins with a parade, and there are these like pretty horses, and they pull kegs, and the carriages are full of waiters and staff and tent owners. So everyone working at Oktoberfest, and they come in, and this happens on noon of the first Saturday, and then the mayor of Munich taps the first keg of the special Oktoberfest brew, and he yells, "Oh, Saftist," and that is Bavarian for it's tapped. And then there are 12 ceremonial gunshots, and this signals to the tents all across the fest that beer can be served. So until then, they don't serve beer, and then the mayor does his shit, and then they all drink beer. But like people obviously still start drinking before then. There are lines like as early as 6 a.m. because you got to get to the tents early to get a good spot. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do they BYOB?
I think yes, they probably BYOB because it sounds like just there are so many people you got to.
Right, yeah. Doing anything with lots of people, you got to BYOB.
Yeah, it's important. And also, if you don't like Munich beer, you got to BYOB because Munich beer is the only thing served at Oktoberfest, and the beer must be brewed within the city walls and come from one of 6 historic breweries.
How do you not like Munich beer? It's like the best beer.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet people gotta like it. But there is a wine tent, and we'll talk about the wine tent briefly in a minute.
Oh, sounds scandalous.
It is scandalous. No, it's not. These 6 breweries all brew their own special Oktoberfest beer. And like it's like a big honor to be one of these 6 breweries and make the beer. And the special Oktoberfest beer is stronger than regular beer. It's about 6% ABV, and 1 mass of beer, which is a liter of beer, is equivalent in alcohol to about 8 shots of schnapps. And schnapps.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. And also 1 massive beer costs about $13. So it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, not too
$13
bad.
for a liter of beer. That's like what 1 can of Coors Light costs at a concert usually.
That'll do it.
This is a good time. And between 600 and 800 people suffer from alcohol poisoning each year. So congratulations.
Like, how do you just drink yourself? Like, there are kids around. You're just drinking yourself into oblivion. I mean, I guess I get it. It's all just...
So you're being judgmental too. And the article I read this in kept referring to the people who got alcohol poisoning as idiots, which I just felt like was rude, because I can definitely see getting alcohol poisoning at something like this. Okay. Not saying you should, but like, come on.
I can see how there's a tipping point. I'm sorry for being judgmental, because I was judging. But after a certain point, it's easy to just keep on going and not really have self-awareness.
And I think it probably is hard to get alcohol poisoning from beer, because like you have to drink so much of it, and you're like peeing or throwing it out before I feel like it's easy to get alcohol poisoning if you're chugging a 5th of vodka. Yeah. But it's different with, so I don't know. I'm sure there is hard alcohol there as well, but the Red Cross tent is visited by about 7,551 people in the year 2014. Much due to alcohol poisoning, and the police were called 2,031 times.
Wow.
Also, the number of sex workers working in the city triples during Oktoberfest. And it is also popular to snort something called Weissenkoks, which is nicknamed Oktoberfest cocaine at Oktoberfest.
Is there anything special about it?
It's very special.
Oh.
So I actually researched Weissenkoks a lot and couldn't find a ton, because most of the articles were in German, which I don't speak.
That is an issue that I ran into as well for this lesson.
But I did what I could. And it's basically a white powder that looks exactly like cocaine, and you snort it exactly like cocaine, but it's not any kind of drug. It's made out of sugar and menthol.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like minty sugar. It's like crushed up Altoids.
Not what I expected.
No. And it's perfectly legal. It contains no cocaine, no drugs. You can buy a small bottle of it for $6. It does not make you high. Like, if anything, it gives you a little sugar rush and clears out your sinuses.
But when you're drinking, it makes you feel a certain way, I'm sure.
Probably. You feel like maybe you're actually doing cocaine. Yeah. And so like security in beer tents is trying to crack down on it. And it's like, why? Like, it's sugar. Like, let people snort sugar. But my feeling is like this thing has to have been invented so that you could snort actual cocaine in the open and just say it's Weissenkoks, like put it in a Weissenkoks bottle and snort the actual cocaine. And I found no evidence that this is what people do, but that's gotta be what people do.
But also, why would you put that on the internet? Like, here's the key, how to
But
do
I feel
drugs.
like maybe these are what the articles in German were, but I feel like it's like maybe like, oh, police confiscated like 90 bottles of like cocaine and Weissenkoks bottles, you know?
Yeah, okay, like a news report of it. Yeah, okay.
But I didn't see anything like that in English, so I guess maybe it doesn't happen, but it's a real thing.
I can
like
see that.
People snort this shit, and there's all these like videos of people snorting it off like people's like tits and dirndls, and it's just like it's a real thing. And I wanted to buy some so we could snort some Weissenkoks during this episode. But unfortunately, so I looked it up on Amazon, and it was like easy. I found it very easily on like Amazon UK, but it's really hard to find on American Amazon. I had to like look up a ton of shit, and I eventually ended up copying and pasting the description from Amazon UK and putting it in regular US Amazon. And it was $17 for a bottle, and it shipped from Europe. So like shipping was probably going to be crazy.
Wow.
And it just wasn't worth it.
You just crush up some Altoids.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically crushed up Altoids, and I wasn't going to pay $70 for it. But this is what it looks like. It's in like a little bottle.
Yeah,
I have like a bottle of tea tree oil that looks exactly like that bottle.
It looks like one of those things you like buy at the beach that has the sand from the beach.
Yeah, it does.
It's like Cancun.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like the most popular brand, at least from what I can see, is called Schneeberg, and Schnee means snow, and so I think that probably means like iceberg, which makes sense because it's menthol.
Snow ice.
And so that's all the debauchery that happens at Oktoberfest.
As expected.
If you want to participate in debauchery, there's a uniform you got to wear, and that is a dirndl or lederhosen. So I have What?
I was going to say, is that like the signal that you're down to clown?
Oh, no, I wish. But that's just what people wear because it's a German event.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know if everyone wore that or if it was like, I'm here to fucking party.
No, pretty much everyone wears a dirndl or lederhosen. I looked up some history on these two things. So I'm going to start by talking about dirndls. And a dirndl is it's a traditional dress worn by women, and it's a staple at Oktoberfest, and it's a dress traditional to Germans, especially Bavarians, and also Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, and South Tyrol. And historically, this is the type of dress worn by Austrian servants in the 19th century, and these dresses were based on the clothing of Alpine peasants. And the dirndl consists of a blouse under a bodice, skirt, and apron. I'm sure you've seen what they look like. And if you haven't, head to Night Classy's Instagram, because Hayley and I are wearing fake costume dirndls, but you'll get the idea.
They're about $100 to $200 cheaper than
real
the cheapest real dirndls.
Yes. And I hate myself because I have a real dirndl from Germany, but it's just at my house in Washington, nowhere nearby.
So sad.
You know, it's really pretty. And so, yeah, they were originally only gray or brown. Sometimes they were blue because they were worn by common people, and common people were only allowed to wear brown and gray, except on Sundays and holidays they could wear blue.
Oh.
And my dirndl is actually brown and blue, so I'm wondering if that's like an homage to this.
Yeah, probably. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
When did that change?
You know, I don't know. Probably when dirndls started being worn like by everybody, and like it was the 18th century when or the 19th century when they were worn by servants, and then I think they fell out of style a little bit in like the mid 1900s, and then are back in style now just for events.
For funsies.
Yeah, just for funsies. Now for funsies, they come in all colors, and the way you tie your apron on your dirndl indicates your relationship status. So I remember this from when I was in Germany. You're nodding. Do you remember it too?
Yeah, I do. It's like to the left, you're single, and to the right, you're down to clown, or is it opposite, or am I totally wrong?
It's the opposite. To the left, you're married. In the middle is like undecided, and then on the right is you're single. And today dirndls are mostly a costume worn to parties and festivals. They're meant to represent German-speaking heritage, and they're usually synthetic, mass-produced, and stylized, and very different from actual traditional dress, which is known as Tracht. And Tracht is like the verb for like wear in Germany, I think. I didn't read that anywhere. I think that's what it is. But Tracht is...
I have no proof or evidence, but I think this.
I think so. And that's what I remember. And so Tracht is a more like authentic traditional dress, which is custom made. There's like a big movement to like bring back the traditional Tracht, especially now that like the dirndl has been so like bastardized by like Halloween costumes like what we're wearing. Yeah. And so Tracht is custom made for the wear. It's really expensive. It's only made from natural materials like wool, linen, silk, silver, and mother of pearl. It's basically just a classy dirndl, whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to prove that you're better than us by using better materials that are more sustainable and longer lasting.
Why is your culture just so important
just shove
to you?
It in our face in the spirit of Halloween.
In spirit Halloween.
In the spirit of Halloween and spirit Halloween.
Yeah. You
I
too
summon thee.
can buy a piece of shit dirndl for $50.
I mean, hey, we've worn it twice.
We're getting our money's worth. Okay, on to lederhosen. So lederhosen is what men wear, except when I was in Bavaria, it's like kind of cool now for girls to wear lederhosen too, especially like if you're a tomboy, like wear lederhosen, it's cool. So it's not like it is gendered, but there's, I mean, what is gender?
Break the
Who
gender
cares?
ceiling. Fuck
Yes, break the gender ceiling. And so this also originated in the Alpine regions of Germany and Austria. I almost said Australia. No,
Not that.
not Australia, Austria. And these are basically just the trousers of the working peasant community from back in the day. And in Bavaria, a unique style emerged where these were leather trousers with like a front flap and like the suspenders. You know what it looks like.
Sure.
Yeah, you know.
Actually, I'm confused. Front flap. Like I know what
Let me look up a picture.
lederhosen look like. Is it like a front flap on their chest or like?
Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Honestly, I was hoping you.
I think it's like a front, like a chest thing,
bib?
like a bib over, like connecting your connecting the what do you call it? The suspenders.
Yes, I couldn't figure out the word either.
For the audience at home.
For the audience at home, Alec is wearing a t-shirt that has lederhosen on it. We really went all out for this episode.
Yeah,
You guys
authenticity.
Are just like, yeah, it has a, oh yeah, like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it kind
If you can't
to feature Alec for editing.
If you can't tell, I care deeply about this topic. Anyway. So this style also became popular in France. And in France, it was called à la Beauvoisie, and which means Bavarian style. And in the 18th century, the style was actually fashionable on a royalty because it was cool to imitate the peasants.
Of course. Yeah. This population that has to wear this because that's what they wear and that's what it is.
Because that's how they like need to work in the fields.
Yeah. And then the rich come in and they're like, this is cute.
This is cute. Yeah.
Let me just steal that.
It is.
Look it up.
Yeah. It's called cultural appropriation. And I don't know if this counts as cultural appropriation, but what we're alluding to is
the two girls in $50 slut spirit Halloween lederhosen talking about cultural appropriation.
Okay.
Listen, we're not the
technically
Kardashians
German.
here, okay?
Yeah. It's different when you appropriate from white people.
Oh.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take. Okay, moving on.
The proud boys are coming for you.
Right. They're like, okay, we have our newest and
Our newest
first
target.
female.
Come at me. I
Female
can't
member.
wait for my first hater. It'll be so good. Okay, anyway, so when rich people wore them, they were a little different. Rich people made their lederhosen from deer leather because it was expensive and soft. Whereas peasants' lederhosen was made from sheep or goat leather, which was super rough. So lederhosen are also another like signature look about them is that they're embroidered, and different regions or families in Bavaria have their own unique embroidery style. So like it can show your pride of like what region you come from based on the embroidery style on your lederhosen.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
It is a fun,
truly
isn't it?
fun fact.
Isn't that a fun fact?
Finally.
I think it's a fun fact. Yeah.
Finally, a fun
Yeah,
fact.
y'all's embroidery says Spirit Halloween.
Oh my God, we're sisters.
we came from the same region of East Memphis, Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, the one next to Target.
Yeah, that one. The pop-up shop of Spirit Halloween in a warehouse.
You got Chipotle afterwards too? Did you kick a baby in the face?
Did you have to walk through a haunted house prop to get to your journal?
If you or someone you know and love has walked through a haunted house to get a fake, expensive, culturally appropriating costume, I don't know what to tell you. But you're in our family now,
You're in our
so
family
welcome.
now. if you dug around in your closet to find your most padded bra to put onto your fake dirndl.
Oh gosh, I thought about putting on the padded bra, but it's like my Victoria's Secret bra is like the wires popping out at the bottom, and I just need to get a new one.
Yeah.
But I don't want to drive all the way out to the closest Victoria's Secret, which is like only 25 minutes. It's not that far. But
like, who drives 25 minutes to a Victoria's Secret? What are we, peasants?
Not I.
Not I.
We are peasants, and that's exactly why we don't do it.
That's why we're wearing dirndls.
Yeah. $50 dirndls at that.
Yeah. All right. So lederhosen has obviously fallen out of popularity. Boo. Because denim became popular, but it is now popular to wear them on special occasions.
We're
and
bringing
festivals.
dirndl back. Yep.
So lederhosen comes in both short and long styles, and the short styles are more popular at festivals because festivals are more often held in warmer weather, but also because they're a little sluttier, and we know how men love to be slutty.
Sex appeal.
Yeah, they're asking for it. So
keep swinging for the fences.
We are. That should be what we call this episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beer does something to us.
Yeah. Whoa.
Alex is like, okay, class dismissed.
Okay. That's enough. I'm tired of hearing from you women. Anyway. Okay. All right. Get it together for the edit.
Stop saying funny things.
So I have one more traditional dress to talk about, which are these Bavarian hats called Tirolhüte. I don't know. Tirolhüte. And they're basically like these hats. They look like like velvet fedoras, and they have like these huge like plumes of goat hair coming from the top. And originally they were worn as a status symbol. Like the more goat hair you had on your hat, the wealthier you are.
It's like a precursor to the toupee.
Yeah, kind of. Here's a picture of them. They're cute.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a feather duster.
Yeah, it is
on
like
his head.
it's a brown feather duster.
So this guy with the more round, full one is of a higher status than this guy in the back looking like a chum.
Yeah. So the dignified man with the white beard is like very wealthy.
Yeah.
And then the chump behind him with the like little like splish splash of goat hair, he's the poor boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks like
he looks like one.
He looks like some of his feathers got burnt off. But
he looks like he's like biting his lips. So what is he doing?
He's biting his lips. He's looking past this man's bountiful collection of whatever. What is it? Fur?
Goat fur? I think
fur,
he looks like he's looking at the man's bountiful goat hair, and I think he looks jealous. He looks jealous.
He's definitely jealous.
Yeah, definitely jealous. Look on Instagram. We'll post this picture. So now on to my random fun facts. So now we're just going to go fun fact after fun fact after fun fact until we're done. It's going to be great. I already told you about Albert Einstein, but moving on to my next fun fact. The most popular things to eat at Oktoberfest are grilled chicken, which is called Händel, pork knuckles, which are called Schweinshaxe,
Ew.
and oxen, which is called Usche. And the amount of chickens eaten far outweighs the amount of sausages. Fun fact.
Cool. Okay, what about pretzels?
There are also pretzels, but it was not on the list of most popular, so we're not going to talk about it.
Maybe it's just such a normal thing that it's not included.
Yeah. And Bavarian pretzels are delicious, and you cannot get the same type of pretzel in America.
No.
It's a fact.
I love Auntie Anne's. All my love to Auntie Anne's, but it just does not compare.
Auntie Anne's have like oil on them, and Bavarian pretzels are like dry and flaky on the outside.
Yeah.
But then like really soft on the inside.
Flaky? I don't want to use the word flaky.
You don't like the word flaky?
No. Reminds me of dandruff.
Okay. That's fair.
But they are dry. They're good for soaking up that beer.
Yeah. And you can hold them in your hand and your hand doesn't get dirty.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. I read all this shit about meat and I was like, okay, so is there vegan food at Oktoberfest? And it turns out there is. So some traditional Bavarian foods like sauerkraut and Reiberdatschi, I don't know how to say that. I've never heard of that, which is a potato pancake apparently. those are already vegan. So vegan options are actually expanding because it is estimated that about 8 to 9% of Germany's population is now vegetarian or vegan.
Wow, that's a really high percentage.
Yeah,
right?
It is. And that is thanks largely to the popularity of Germany's Green Party. So the Green Party promotes vegetarianism as something to do to help the environment, because that is like one of the number one things you can do to help the environment. Even just giving up meat like once a week is a great thing to do to help the environment. And so some of the vegan options offered are quinoa over a pea and mint puree, soy steak with caramelized onions, ginger carrot soup with soy medallions, and vegan Käsespätzle, which all sound delicious.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe should we go to Oktoberfest? Should we do that
eventually? Next year when COVID's over. Let's do it. I'm so down. Oktoberfest has been canceled 24 times due to war or a cholera outbreak, and now I guess is the 25th time because it's been canceled due to COVID-19. And there is a wine tent, but apparently it's full of old people. I kept seeing in these articles that like there is a wine tent, but only old people go to it. So
that's so funny that it's like I feel like old in that case also is a synonym for lame.
Yeah. Like I feel like the wine tent's probably like the chill tent that you go to like sip a wine and get away from the loudness, I guess.
I would go there to take a break.
Yeah.
And then I would be back with my Hell's beer.
My Hell's of beer. And then I have one last fun fact. So Paris Hilton is permanently banned from Oktoberfest. One year she attended wearing a shiny gold dirndl, and she was there to promote a brand of canned wine. And people were just so offended by like just her overall, like they say they're offended by how she was dressed, but like looking at her dress, and I'll show you pictures of it in a second, I don't think there's anything different about the way she's dressed than the way everyone else, like it's just a dirndl with her boobs pushed up. I feel like that's really common, but like people say she cheapened the event. So I think just having an American celebrity there promoting wine at a beer festival, like just kind of, like it's just not a good look. They're just like, it's just not cool.
This is not the place.
Yeah. But she was also there with Kim Kardashian, who I think was her personal assistant at the time.
Nice.
And I have a whole bunch of pictures. I looked at pictures for like an hour today during my planning period because like low-key, this was the most interesting part of this to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And so here's Kim and Paris.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at them. Look at young Kim.
I know. Young Kim was so cute.
Yeah, she was.
She's still cute, but like she was just so cute.
Yeah. So real.
Yeah. So real, so cute. But Kim wasn't banned from Oktoberfest because years later in 2010, she attended with her momager, Chris. And here's a picture of Kim and Chris.
Wow. Their dirndls are so
Aren't their dirndls
fabulous. Pretty? Yeah. I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too.
Why aren't our dirndls like that?
Because our dirndls were from Spirit Halloween and their dirndls were probably custom made.
Damn
so
it.
There's a difference.
I wonder what it's like to have custom made clothing.
Me too. Donate it to us on Patreon.
Yeah, we'll get custom made dirndls.
Yeah. No, we won't, but we will be happy.
Yeah,
so
we will be happy. Same thing.
Yes, same thing. So anyway, also this is Paris presenting her wine that she was promoting.
That's so funny.
Yeah. It was in like a shiny sparkly can.
Did they have a booth or something? Yeah, she has her braids, but it is like, it doesn't even look like she's wearing a dirndl from this picture. It just looks like she's wearing like,
I mean, you can
kind of
see
shoulder shirt or dress. Yeah, like you can see in the full picture, but like
it's definitely like a very stylized dirndl, but like so is everybody else's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. She's also wearing these like huge ass sunglasses that I definitely like had a cheap version of in 2001. So good times.
Yep. She did it.
She was there. She did the thing. So that's my lesson on Oktoberfest. I hope you enjoyed my first list of fun facts.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. Let's hear a quick word from our sponsor and we'll be right back.
Okay, so now that we're back in school, I just want to talk real quick about this quick snack that is really good and delicious, but also really good for you. Have you heard of Build Bar?
You know what? I have, because I'm also back at school and also need a good little snacky snack.
Oh, great. So you already know that Build Bar has 16 grams of protein, is full of collagen.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It is full of collagen. And you know what? Sometimes it's really hard to find a protein bar that actually has a lot of protein and does not have a lot of sugar. Build Bar is sweetened with honey and dates and has no artificial colors, flavors, nothing. It's just 100% goodness. You can read the ingredients on the label.
Right. I feel like so often we're so used to eating things that have a bunch of ingredients that we don't even know how to pronounce them, but that's not Build Bar. We can easily look and see their simple ingredients. And by the way, collagen, that's the thing that makes your hair and nails grow and your skin looks awesome. So we could all use more of that.
Yes, especially because starting school, my skin decided it hates me now that I started wearing makeup again. Have you had this problem too? I keep getting breakouts because I haven't worn foundation for 6 months and now I'm wearing it.
Oh yeah, all around my chin.
Yeah. All over my chin. It's delicious, beautiful, but it's not, and I want it to go away. And collagen really does truly work wonders for your skin. I've noticed a huge difference. So if you want to also look beautiful, eat a little snacky snack at work, get some good protein, go to buildbar.com and enter promo code NIGHTCLASSY for 10% off your first order.
Go get your snack and feel like one too.
And look like one.
Be a snack.
Be a snack.
Do a snack.
Eat a snack.
Eat a snack.
Yum.
All right. Welcome to Miss Madden's lesson today. So this case is related to Oktoberfest, not directly related on the surface, so just bear with me here.
If Alec let you do something really scary and fucked up and didn't let me,
I don't know what she's doing.
I'm gonna be so pissed.
I didn't tell him. And when I told Tommy what I was doing, he was like, I think I'm a little worried that Alec is gonna be upset. And I was like, Alec won't be upset. But I'm like, maybe Alec will be upset. But it's not just...
If you do the case I wanted to do,
what was the
no.
case?
I'm not going to say it.
Please say.
Because I'll do it another time if it's not that.
Okay, well, I am going to be shocked if you don't know this case. Since you're such a true crime junkie.
Wow, I'm already angry. My blood pressure is high.
It was a good change of pace, but also there's nothing else for me. You said that you were going to do a list on Oktoberfest.
Yeah, because so the way this all went down last Saturday is I told Alec, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. It's this scary, fucked up true crime story, but it happened in Germany. Let's just say it applies to Oktoberfest, and Hayley can do the list because she usually does the list and she does a great job. And he said, no, that's not Oktoberfest enough, and not every day in October is Halloween. And so I said, fine, I have to choose a topic right now, and I don't have time to sit here and research every damn angle of Oktoberfest. So I'm just gonna do a list. And
right.
Sorry.
And so my topic,
I'm a bitter bitch.
My go-to topic was taken. And then there's not much else because I didn't know what you were going to cover, what you weren't going to cover. So I was I'll just find something adjacent to Oktoberfest, which ended up being your niche of true crime.
I feel like we kind of switched.
We did.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go.
Switcheroo.
Do you know Ursula Herrmann?
Oh, was she the countess, the blood countess?
No, she was not.
Cool. Who was this?
Okay, so I will tell you. Cool. Our lesson is taking place, of course, across the pond in Germany. We began on September 15th in 1981. It takes place in a small town called Ecking am Ammersee, Ecking for short, which is right outside of Munich. Okay. So the town of Ecking, there's a lake right near it and a small forest. It sits between the town of Ecking and its neighboring town, Skondorf. 10-year-old Ursula Herrmann finishes her very first day of school, rides her bike home, practices playing piano with her brother, and then heads back out for gymnastics. It's a normal thing, of course, at that time to, just ride your bike back in the day and go everywhere
Still
on your
a normal
bike.
thing to ride a bike.
I feel like it's less normal though. For like,
how old was she?
She's 10, unsupervised, just riding her bike.
I walked to school when I was 10.
Okay, I didn't. And also, like, we didn't really have a walkable area.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's less normal because, there's that whole stranger danger panic and like all of that.
And I mean, I grew up in not a normal place. So like we literally never lock our doors.
Okay, yeah, that's not
different.
normal.
No, yeah.
So it was a different time at that. So after gymnastics class, Ursula goes to her aunt and uncle's house for dinner in the town that's right next to them, Skondorf. And then at like 7:20 p.m., Ursula's mom calls and she's like, "Hey, you should probably send Ursula home. It's a school night. We got to get going here." So it was getting dark, but it wasn't dark yet. And so they sent her on her way. They're like, "All right, just ride your bike home." And so she heads home on her little ride bike. The bike ride through the forest from Skondorf to Ecking takes about 10 minutes, like 15 minutes maximum. After half an hour goes by and Ursula's still not home, her mom calls her aunt and is like, "Hey, what's up?" And her aunt's like, "Ursula left 25 minutes ago." So immediate panic.
Yeah.
Ursula's father set out to search the path that Ursula takes from Ecking to Skondorf, and her uncle set out from Skondorf to Ecking, and they met in the middle. No sight of Ursula. So within an hour, Ursula's name is just echoing through the forest. Neighbors, family, friends, police are searching for her. Hours later, rain is coming down. It's dark, but the search continues on. Sniffer dogs are brought in, and the sniffer dog actually leads the police off the trail and 65 feet into the forest where they find Ursula's red bike. Still no sight of the girl. So they search throughout the night. The next morning, even more people join in on the search. It is in full throttle now. Like there are helicopters flying through the area, police boats, divers are out in the water, and the news of this missing 10-year-old girl is being broadcasted on every channel. Also, I forgot to tell you all this case and lesson will involve abuse, pet abuse, child abuse. It's
oh my god, mine wasn't gonna be this bad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, when I go true crime, it's really bad. Yeah. So it's really bad. 36 hours later, there's still no sign of Ursula. Their parents are waiting at home when they receive this phone call. They receive this phone call, but there's just silence. So they stay on the line and then they listen until this jingle comes through. Will you play the jingle, Alex?
Oh my god, what the fuck?
So they immediately recognize that jingle because it's from the traffic report on Byron 3 radio station. And it played once more before the caller just hung up.
Ew, I hate it so much. It made my eyes water. Like, yeah. How creepy.
And in 1981, it's not like they could just have their phone recorder ready. That had to be a whole thing, like with a tape recorder.
They just really wanted to fuck with the family.
Yeah.
Oh, I have chills. That is so fucked up.
I know. It gets worse.
Okay.
So prepare yourself. They hear that jingle. They don't say anything. They play it again and then they hang up. They did end up calling several times over the next few hours, but they never said anything. All this while playing that jingle. They were able to record the calls because after the first call, they called the police, but they weren't really sure what to make of it all. And so nothing happened. The next day, an envelope comes in the mail for Ursula's father, and it is marked urgent. In this envelope, it has the most cliche ransom note. So exactly pretty much, I'm sure, what you picture as a cliche ransom note.
Was it like literally cut out magazine letters?
Yes, literal cut out magazine letters from tabloids, things like that, pasted onto the page. And it is in broken German. The note read, "If you ever want to see your daughter alive again, then pay 2 million marks, Deutschmarks ransom. Just say if you will pay or not pay. If you call the police or do not pay, we will kill your daughter.
Mm.
That's so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just even receiving that news through a letter, just the loss of like power in that situation. Like,
right. And yeah.
And so they also explained in this letter that when they called.
Also, I'm sorry, can I interject?
Yeah.
I feel like with like how like stupid that letter sounds, like it was definitely the parents, right? And they're like, or maybe not because of the weird phone calls. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
The parents were never suspected.
Okay.
One thing that they did suspect was that eventually they end up suspecting that it could have been kids or someone trying to seem like they didn't know German, like they were a foreigner, since it was in like broken German.
Yeah, but I mean, if I were like taking all the time to cut out letters from a newspaper, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd cut some corners. I wouldn't try to like. I wouldn't spend the extra time to make sure my grammar was like. I wouldn't cut out the extra letters for the grammar. You know.
Yeah. And so they didn't. They didn't cut out the grammar. Oh my God. They did not correct the grammar.
Yes.
But in this letter, anyway, this letter explained that when these kidnappers called, that the parents would hear a jingle and that they should answer yes or no if they would pay or not.
Mm-hmm.
So backtracking, that jingle was supposed to be their like, okay, answer now. And then they didn't say anything because
they hadn't got the letter.
Yeah, they hadn't got the letter.
Shit.
And so which to me is like, they called so many times after that initial time, like they don't want to kill this girl.
Yeah.
They just want money.
Yeah. And was her family someone who could pay $2 million?
No, her father was a school teacher and her mother was a housewife.
Oh yeah, they could not.
So they're just an average family. So time goes on. The next time that they do call and play the jingle, Ursula's mother does agree to pay the ransom. And like I said, they're just an average family, but they did raise the money with the help of friends, family, and then the state agreed to cover the rest of the remainder of the ransom.
That's amazing.
I know. I was like, I wonder what would happen like if this happened in the United States.
I mean, I guess we have GoFundMe, but the state definitely wouldn't do shit.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder if there would be any government
I wonder,
injection. So they do.
I was going to say, I guess this is what like living in like a stable country looks like, but this was the 80s in Germany, so it wasn't.
Right. Yeah. It was a precursor.
Yeah.
So Ursula's mother pled with the kidnappers, like, please give me some sort of proof that Ursula is alive.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They're like, all right, we've got our money. We're outie.
Yeah.
And so they hung up. Then a second letter comes, and it gave Ursula's parents detailed instructions on how they would like to receive the ransom money. They said 100 mark bills only. It must be used, so it can't be like specifically tracked.
Yeah.
It has to be in a suitcase, and it has to be dropped off by Ursula's father. And he has to drive a yellow Fiat 600 going less than 90 kilometers per hour.
Why would you choose a yellow car?
Exactly. Also a Fiat, like,
yeah,
that was okay. It's
like the most noteworthy car. Yeah,
exactly. Which is another thing where people are like nodding to like, maybe these are just some dumb teenagers.
Yeah. Or like someone trying to seem dumb. Like what?
Exactly. Like that is not under the radar at all. And at the time, like Fiats are pretty popular now, but in the 80s, like that was a very rare car, especially in Germany.
Yeah.
So when they hung up the phone to tell them, or not the phone, but once they read that letter about the ransom details, the location was not clear, but the kidnappers did say they would call them when they wanted the money to be dropped. And they said, if you do not call the cops, Ursula will be returned. And specifically, they wrote 6 hour later. The German translation, 6 hour rather than 6 hours later. So the
6 Uhr später.
Oh, look at her go. And then if they did call the cops, they would kill her. So the stakes are pretty high. And so they waited. And waited and waited for a word from these kidnappers about when to drop the money. Hours go by, days go by, weeks go by, nothing. The police end up scheduling a final search for Ursula in the forest.
So they actually didn't tell the police this whole time?
They did tell the police, yeah. But nothing happens to tell them where to drop the money.
Right.
And so they schedule a final deep search for Ursula in this forest in between the neighboring towns. Over 100 police officers go out. They have about 10 sniffer dogs. They split the forest into quadrants and they scour the area with the dogs. They use these metal rods to uncover forest debris on the ground. After 4 days of searching, almost all of the forest was accounted for, but there's still no sign of Ursula until there was. About 800 meters away from the lake, a police officer noticed a piece of fabric on the ground, which was kind of weird. So he lifted it up. Underneath it, he found a hard wooden lid underneath the fabric. So he lifted the lid to find a second board, not much deeper underneath the first one. And the second board was secured with 7 bolts. He pried it open with a spade, which is different than a shovel, I learned. But upon prying it open with a spade, he made a terrible, gruesome discovery. The second board was a lid to a box that had been buried 6 feet in the ground. And sitting on a built-in bench within the box, they found Ursula Herrmann.
Okay.
And this box is peculiar because it gives further evidence that they did not mean for Ursula to die.
Was she like being kept in there alive?
She was placed in there alive.
Oh no.
And I'll show you, here's a police sketch of the box.
Oh my God.
So
that's heartbreaking.
There's a built-in bench in there that she was sitting on and her head was tilted upwards. It's believed that she was drugged to get into the box.
So was her head like held in that position?
I think that's just how it like balanced in between her shoulders as she was placed on this like built-in bench. Here's another picture. You can see it was like,
oh my God, but a lot of work went into this.
Yeah, a lot of work clearly planned ahead of time. And there's also this pipe that went from inside the box out through the ground and over the surface of the ground.
To like ventilate?
Yeah, here's a recreation recreation of the box.
Gross.
Yeah, and it looks like professionally done. It's not ratty or muddy or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like very well planned and executed.
Yeah. There's
like
definitely
somebody spent time on this. This wasn't teenagers.
No.
Yeah.
No. There's craftsmanship that goes into this. Unfortunately, the pipe was meant for ventilation. It's pretty clear, but they didn't think to create a device or put a machine in there that would turn the air. So oxygen ran out quickly. It's estimated that Ursula died between 30 minutes to 5 hours after being placed in the box. The coroner conducted an autopsy and determined that Ursula was not harmed physically before her death. There was no sign of struggle at all. So the doctors do believe that Ursula was drugged to get her calmly into the box. And like I said, the kidnappers wanted to keep her alive. In the box, they found water, sodas, chocolate, biscuits, magazines, books, a bucket, a radio, turned to Bavarian 3 News, and a light.
Yeah.
So I think all that points to them not having the intention for her to end up dead.
It's just, it's just also like with these ransom cases, it feels like the person always winds up dead. Like it seems like intentionally, and this seems like different. Yeah, it's dangerous, but this seems different in that it seems like they actually didn't want to kill her.
Right.
And
but
like
also,
so much care went into this. It makes me think like maybe it was like someone who knew her that was just really desperate for money.
Yeah. I mean,
and like, especially if there's no signs of struggle, like you said, she was drugged, but like, how did they get her off her bike to go with them in the first place? Like, I feel like that has to have been like physically grabbing her, possibly leaving bruises.
Yeah, or if they did know her, then just
they
being
could have
like,
just,
hey, come here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So at this point, it was a mystery. And upon the discovery of the box, the media is all up in the police's business at the site of the crime. And this was all with the permission from the police press department. So there were a lot of people stomping around on the spot. So that erases any chance of like shoe evidence. And they did find one fingerprint on the tape around the pipe that was supposed to be used for ventilation, but the fingerprint didn't match any fingerprints in the archives. The box was large and heavy, so they did suspect that they were looking for more than one person. They ended up following up on like 1,800 leads in the first year of investigating, but they still met a lot of dead ends. Fingerprints didn't help much. They took over 1,000 fingerprints from people in the surrounding area and nothing kicked up. Everyone was a suspect, but then no one was a suspect at this point in time. Yeah. And the police offered 30,000 Deutschmarks. Germany is called Deutschland. I feel like as someone who went to Germany, you never knew it was called Deutschland. Oh, I thought it was just euro. That's what they refer to it. Euro is the currency now because it's part of the European Union, but it's still called Deutschland. And so they use Deutschmarks. Okay. Well, sorry. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to come at you there. I feel like as someone who's been to Germany for 6 days, that you should know all about their economic system. No, but I feel like you should know what the name of the country is. Yeah, I'm sorry. The name of the country is Germany. Okay. And not to be on like my Germany high horse after taking one semester of German, but I'm sorry. But also like when I was taking these notes, I was like just writing down and then thinking in my head like how much that would be in US dollars. Okay. Like, you know, a typical white person, like what does that mean to me? Yeah, probably about the same, right? No, actually, really. I guess, 1980s Germany, the Deutschmark was probably worth basically nothing. Yeah, I don't really know. I didn't take the time to translate all of this, but I'm just going to call marks because that's what one of my sources called. Okay. Anyway, the police offered 30,000 marks in reward for information, and they followed up on tons of leads with no avail. And so police weren't really getting anywhere. They were just drowning in seas of tips, but they did hear one name several times. It was this 31-year-old named Werner Masaryk. Masaryk lived near the Herrmanns as a family. He had a wife, 2 children, owned a repair shop in town. He's not unfamiliar with law enforcement. He does drink heavily and is heavily in debt. Same. I hope you're not in as much debt as this guy. About 140,000 marks. Well, so it's not great. So the police call him in and they're questioning him. And they're like, what did you do this night? You know, the night that Ursula died. And he's like, I can't really remember what I did that night. Can I have some time to think on it? I mean, I need time to think too if you asked me what I did yesterday. Fair enough. And so maybe the police would do the same thing as they did for Masaryk and they let him go. And they're like, yeah, great. Man, rack your brain. Let me know. Are police universally terrible? Because it seems like it. I think there's a personality trait that might go into it. Yeah, probably. And so Masaryk leaves, but he does return a day later with an alibi. After he had some time to think one up. Yeah, and definitely not set anything up. Yeah. He remembered he was playing Risk with his friends all along. God, what a coincidence. Yeah. It's crazy. I know, it's so crazy. I wonder how he came. I wonder how he remembered that. I know. Did he have it written on his calendar? He was with... Yeah, that. Yeah. And he talked to his friends who reminded him and they practiced it several times. Yeah. So, yeah, he was like, I've got an alibi. Everything's fine. They searched his home and workshop after this. but they found nothing. His fingerprint didn't match the single one found on the pipe in the box. And the police believed that they still had a hunch about Masaryk, even though they really didn't have any evidence to say that it was him. But nonetheless, they arrest him and two of his friends in January, question them, but end up releasing him. Mm-hmm. So they're still kind of back at this like dead end. We're like, we don't really know. We've gotten a bunch of tips. They also end up questioning this guy, Klaus Pfaffinger. He's in a Pfaffinger?
No, it's just that name is silly.
I know it is. Probably I pronounced it too much on the finger part, but Pfaffinger. He's an acquaintance of Masaryk, and after Pfaffinger's landlord tells them that Pfaffinger, he saw him riding around on his moped several times the week before Ursula's death. Now, the moped is no crime, but
no, it is.
All right, he's a double down criminal because he was also seen doting a shovel around in his moped basket.
As you carrying a shovel in his moped basket. Oh my God.
Which is a little suspicious, you know?
I mean, people got a shovel.
People got a shovel.
Bitches be shoveling.
Bitches be shoveling. This bitch be shoveling. Now, he does deny any involvement, but after a full day of questioning, he comes in the next day and they're questioning him again. They take a break and he like looks at the secretary and he's like, so what if I do know something?
People who commit crimes just cannot help themselves.
No, they're so proud sometimes.
They love it.
They fucking
love crime.
Love it.
Oh, they eat
He's
it up.
here for it. And so he does what we expect him to do. He ends up telling the police, I'm the one who dug the hole, but only because Masaryk asked me to, and he would pay me 1,000 marks if I did it.
That's a great reason.
So yeah.
He was in debt.
Masaryk is the one who is in debt, offering to pay the $1,000 to Pfaffinger. But if he got the 2 million marks, then of course he could pay Pfaffinger 1,000 for digging the hole.
Wow, he's only going to give him 1,000 out of 2 million.
Right. He's got bills to pay though.
Do you know what his debt was from?
No, I have no idea. Maybe
the University of Washington.
Yeah, the University of Washington, legal charges. Kat, you know all about that. Yeah. So they're like, oh, thank God we have like a break in this case. So they're like, all right, let's make sure. So they take him out to the forest and they're like, show us where you dug the hole. Show us the way.
I'm sorry. I imagine him being really stupid, and I'm imagining like my cat Ghost just gives us the dumbest looks, and I just imagine dropping Ghost down in the forest and having him just like look it up at us with stupid eyes, but he's a human and it's this guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He looks up at them with stupid eyes, and he's like, "Me don't know." He cannot lead them. He tries to, but he cannot lead them near to or anywhere in the vicinity of the crime site.
But also, if you dropped me in the forest, like I got lost driving home from work yesterday.
Did you make any extra special stops?
No, I was just zoning out and I kept driving straight and missed my turn, and then I didn't know how to get home when I realized it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Also, like, fair enough that like I've talked on this podcast before about how easy it is to get lost in the woods. It's so easy to get disoriented.
So easy.
So they're like, well, shit, he couldn't get them anywhere close to the hole. Also, I don't know if it matters or not. He was a renowned alcoholic. So he was drunk in some of the questionings, drunk here, a little bit drunk here, a little bit drunk there. You know how it goes.
Drunk here, drunk there, drunk everywhere.
This is life.
Drunk in a box, drunk in socks.
Is he the murderer?
It's like the description of this show.
Drunk in socks, drunk in a box. Welcome to Night Classy. We're rebanding. And emphasis on box because we're homeless now.
Oh, I thought we were going toward a different kind of box. I was like,
oh, okay. all the boxes, drunk in a box. It's a rap song. Back to Faffinger. He couldn't get them anywhere near the hole. He revokes his confession, and as much as they try over several weeks to get him to give them more information, he's like, nah, man, it wasn't me. So he's released without any charges. The search goes on for Ursula without any leeway. Investigators found other things linked to the crime as time goes on. They found this really long wire just strewn in the woods. Well, they didn't find it. Initially, some students found it and they thought it was interesting and they kept it in like a dorm room. But then they're like, oh shit, this was right near that place where that girl was found. And so they give it to the police and they're like, oh shit, this was probably like a booby trap type deal to alert the kidnappers while they were putting her in the box and everything to alert them, because they think that there was a light bulb attached to one end of it and one of the accomplices was at the place where they could light the switch if someone was coming, and it was like 160 meters long, so it was very far away from the site.
But it's the 80s. They could just have like a walkie-talkie.
But that'd be loud. They don't want to alert anyone to
And you want a booby trap like that so that it's there all the time. You don't have to have someone focusing on it. It's like a tripwire, right?
Well, no, it wasn't like a tripwire. He would have to be like looking at the light bulb.
Oh.
There are several theories on it. None of this was seen or proven. They're like, we think it was maybe a booby trap where it was like a tripwire. We think that there could have been a light bulb attached to one end. Either way, they think that it was used to alert those committing the crib napping. Same, almost
the
similar. The kidnapping. Crib napped. To anyone coming up on them.
Okay.
So fast forward, this all initially goes down in 1981. On the cusp of the 1990s, it's still unsolved. Fast forward again, in the late 2000s, the statute of limitations is almost up because this was not considered a murder case.
Oh my God. I hate the statute of limitations.
Me too. It was considered a kidnapping case.
That's fucked.
Yep. It expired after 30 years. And 25 years had gone by then.
Oh my God. What?
Yep. Totally fucked. Right?
But like it still counts as manslaughter, right? Shouldn't that count for something? Like at the very least.
It was categorized as kidnapping. And that was that.
But it led to a death.
I know. And also, yeah, the statute of limitations, it should not exist for death.
Especially, yes, not for stuff like this. Not for sexual assault and not for something that results in death.
So they only had 5 more years to figure it out, which might seem, like a lot of time. But when you're trying to solve a case like this, it's already gone on for 25 years. It is like not much time.
Yeah.
So the prosecutor's like, all right, let's circle back, return to the case files and get to work. At this point in time, Faffinger is dead, but Mazurek was still alive and was as drunk as he could be. He did end up moving with his wife to North Germany to kind of get away, because when they brought him in for questioning, it was a small town. People talk. But they still had a hunch about him, even though they couldn't really prove it the first time. Police put Mazurek and his home under surveillance. They also send out a decoy friend for him, like an undercover police officer to befriend him. And they were also able to place recording devices in his car and tap his phone.
Okay.
So he did oblige when they asked him to give a saliva sample, but it didn't match any DNA from the crime. And there was just one more thing to follow up on from that. It was kind of
the fingerprint.
It was not the fingerprint, but they did find an old tape recorder found amongst the items taken from Mazurek's house. A sound expert, they went onto it and found audio of a recording of Byron 3 traffic news. God. And a sound expert determined that it could have been the tape recorder used in the kidnapping.
Who else would record?
Right.
The news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who else?
Ew, stop playing it. It's really so creepy. Stop.
It is so creepy.
I don't like it.
And circumstantial evidence stacks higher and higher against Mazurek. The police questioned people in his life. Initially, Mazurek was like, I don't even know the Herrmann family, despite having lived extremely close to them. And his first wife worked as a housekeeper, and she cleaned their house. So that's not super damning, but the police did question his first wife, and she had a lot more to say.
The first wife always does.
Right. It's always the first wife that bears all the trauma.
Yes.
Good God. So the family, Mazurek and his wife, they had a pet dog.
Oh no.
Mazurek had a temper, and he was a drunk. One day after coming home from drinking at Oktoberfest.
Oh, here we go.
Full circle. He found the dog had tipped over the trash can and strewn the contents all around the kitchen. And basically, he lost his fucking mind. He dragged the dog downstairs, shut it in the freezer where it froze to death, only to be found by his wife weeks later.
Oh my God.
Yep. And I'm not saying that means that you did this to Ursula, but also to me, it says that you have the capacity to do a similar crime to another living being.
Definitely. You're lacking empathy.
Absolutely.
And that means you're capable.
And it's that same thing of like, I'm placing you in this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm distancing myself, but you're going to die.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same style of killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like feeling like you're not responsible. Yeah. Because you didn't.
Yeah. I didn't I didn't kill it straight up. I just created the circumstances to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that shocks me too, because if you're drunk and you have a temper, like you'd think that he would just like beat the shit out of the dog.
Yeah.
But it's a much like almost like creepier, colder, not to like no pun intended, but like way of doing this that, it seems like foreshadowing.
Yeah. And a lot of people believed it was. That was a big testimony that contributed to the circumstantial evidence. Another friend of Mazurek cited that he was like, we were talking one day and Mazurek was like, man, there should be an easier way to make 2 million marks.
Well, there you go.
Which, if you don't remember, 2 million marks was the amount of ransom that he wanted, or that he supposedly wanted in exchange. Another friend came forward and was like, this wasn't a friend. He was talking to a friend, but they got this information from the phone tap. He was having a lot of weird conversations talking about how the sentencing for Ursula Herrmann would go, what the turnout would be, what would be said, what the punishment would be for
this
the
guy's
person.
guilty as fuck.
Yeah, he wants to talk about it. He's
God.
like just all about it. And another weird thing, not saying that he's guilty because of this, but he kept calling the murder of Ursula a work accident.
What?
And by work accident, from what I understand, what he meant by that is that the person who killed her had no intention of killing her. They just messed up the air holes in the box. It was a technical working accident.
Yeah, if you're not the murderer, who would refer to this as a work accident?
Nobody.
Yeah.
And so the police are like, I mean, it just really seems like you did it.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Like, come on. Just admit you did it.
Just say it. Just say that you did it.
Yeah.
Now, there was a trial. All in all, Mazurek is sentenced to life in prison. He is founded guilty. But there's a whole other side to this thing that I am not going to get into right now.
Thank God.
I'm going to give a snippet because I know we're tired.
I'm so tired.
That was way too much research. But Ursula's older brother and a handful of other people do not believe that Mazurek is the true killer. They think that the police just rushed into finishing the case before the statute of limitations kicked in, and they think that it could be someone else simply because there's not enough clear evidence that Mazurek committed this crime and that it's all circumstantial.
I mean, I think that's a fair judgment. Like, yeah, like it's not for sure that he did it, but also it really seems like he did it.
It really does seem like you did this, though. So
probably did.
Yep. My sources are The Guardian's long read article by Zan Rice on this story, the Ursula Herrmann Germany kidnapping mystery, and the Fresh Hell podcast hosted by Annie and Johanna, episode 70. And that is all I've got. Class dismissed.
Yay. Thank you so much, Hayley. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media and consider supporting the sponsors that support us, like Build Bar, or possibly even donating on Patreon. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you. I can't talk. We'll see you next week. 3, 2, 1. Class dismissed.
Wow, our format is all out of whack this week. I said class dismissed.